Hey Narwhals, my name's Luke Narwhal, and today we're going to be reading a weight-related question from Ask Reddit. Before we get into the video, here's our user submission of the day from our subreddit, submitted by Ainsley Nutting, and she says, my first rally of the year versus my last rally of the year, minus 30 pounds. Congrats on your weight loss, Ainsley, and if any other Narwhals would like to share your progress and be featured on the channel, just go to r/loseitnarwhals, link is below. Now let's get into the video. Overweight folks, what does everybody else not understand about weight loss? Being fat is wearing your addiction and shame publicly for everyone to see and judge. You don't have to admit to smoking cigarettes at your job interview. If you are a heavy drinker, you can hide it at the grocery store. If you're fat, everyone knows, and everyone has an opinion. This. The worst is people judging you at a glance as a lazy slob without even considering that your current weight is actually the result of months of hard work to get down from a much higher start weight. A lot of the answers on this thread are really interesting and tell me stuff I never have thought of before, and this one the most of all. I'd never even thought of weight as a mental issue before, and the idea of it being the most visible and the one that everyone's happy to jump on is a pretty unfortunate combination. Thanks for sharing. That it's often intrinsically connected to stress, depression, or poverty, and to beat obesity, you have to beat these other contributing factors at the same time. This is so true. I can now afford therapy and a personal trainer 3 times a week, and the weight is coming off. I am fortunate. All 3 of those factors are gone for me. People who say it is easy, they have it easy. That when people talk about weight loss, each side is having a different conversation. The fat side is saying, I know how to lose weight. I have trouble sticking to that plan because eating is the way I cope with stress. The thin side is saying, this is how you lose weight. I'm fat as hell, and I know why. I'm not ignorant of thermodynamics, CICO, or why a cheeseburger and a milkshake makes me gain weight when a salad might not. I know that when I have a salad with enough croutons that it might as well be a sandwich and then drench it in dressing, that it's not a healthy meal. Fat people aren't fat because we don't understand how to eat right. We're fat because eating is how we cope with the world, the same way others drink, or stare at the TV, or play video games, or smoke pot. It's a pleasurable sensory experience that makes the world go away for a little bit and lets us cope. They say that weight loss is something like 75% diet and 25% exercise. That's true of the mechanics of how to lose weight, but frankly, weight loss is really a solid 50% mental health, 3/8 diet, and 1/8 exercise. Unless you're literally too poor to afford food, it all starts with wanting to lose weight. Can I please just tell you how much I appreciate you for this comment? I am overweight and I am well aware of CICO and have had success with it many times. I know more about my total daily energy expenditure and my BMR than most people. I know more about the caloric content of just about everything I eat. I'm educated, intelligent, and very well read about just about every aspect of healthy eating and weight maintenance. And yet, I overeat all the time because carbs give me enough dopamine to get through the next bout of bullcrap in my day. I eat too much salt because it gives me a buzz in a way coffee does not. I eat takeaway because it gives me just enough pleasure to temporarily override the dysthymia and chronic tiredness that rules my life. But frankly, weight loss is really a solid 50% mental health, 3/8 diet, and 1/8 exercise. That is the truest thing I've ever read. If only you could go cold turkey or on the wagon, it would be so much easier, but that doesn't work for food. I read it on another Reddit forum as, imagine you're an alcoholic and you have a fully stocked bar. You can only drink 3 shots per day, or else you'll die. That really put it into perspective for me, being a recovering alcoholic and all. For me, 1 shot turns into 4, turns into more, so I can only imagine what a food addiction is like. I put on a bunch of weight as a kid because my metabolism got all effed up by some meds. People say, well, you should have just eaten less, but because of food allergies and a couple other issues, I already eat the minimum amount of food required to be able to function. The issue is, a lot of my food is carbs because of said allergies. I lost a lot of the weight in my early 20s. I also became an alcoholic around the same time. I replaced food with alcohol as my stress relief. After I cut back, switched from 24-hour drinking to only not working drinking, I gained weight again because I was making up for the loss of booze with food. Now that I'm 60 days sober, I've managed to cut back on both. I lost 70 pounds in the last 9 months after taking up my hobby smithing again, after a long hiatus because heavy drinking, heavy hammers, and hot furnaces don't mix. you'll really never ever feel thin, no matter how much weight you lose. I went from 300 pounds to 180 pounds when I was ending high school / entering college. And for the last 7 years, I've been between 160 and 190, usually hovering around 175 and 180. I will never not think about my weight. Even when I'm at my lowest, if I have a big meal or indulge in something, I'll feel like I'm the fattest I've ever been. I always think I look fat and always feel like I'm being judged for my weight. It took me years for people to accept that people saw me as a skinny person, and gaining a little bit of weight after college reset any of that progress immediately. It's impossible for me to gauge my weight by looking in the mirror, because I always feel like I'm gaining weight. It's impossible to distinguish between my paranoia about it and actual weight gain without going on a scale. I can't say I was ever super overweight, but I've always had a bit of a belly on me since I was a teenager. At my best, I was 175 pounds, and at my worst, I was just shy of 240 pounds. I went from 220 to 175, which took me from XL shirts to medium shirts. I felt fat as hell still. I gained 5 pounds and felt like the fattest F that ever walked the earth. I floated back up to about 200 and stayed there for a long time. Eventually, it felt like that was my weight, and there was nothing I could do about it. I could wear large shirts, but XL was more comfortable. I got up to almost 240 pounds, and the crazy thing is, I never felt fatter as I got fatter. I just fell back to 210 pounds, and I still feel like the fattest F to walk the earth. When I look in the mirror, all I see is a gigantic belly. If I look down, I see my belly. I know it's not actually that big. I know I can wear pants I haven't been able to wear for almost 3 years right now, because 30 pounds is a lot of weight to lose. I know I'm getting smaller. The evidence is there. But when I look in the mirror, all I see is belly, 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 belly. And that makes me feel like giving up, because what the F does it matter if I think I look the same as I do at 240 pounds as I do when I'm 175 or 210 pounds. It is the weirdest sensation. Oh crap, my pants are falling off. Oh crap, these pants I can't wear fit again. Oh crap, I'm still fat. I don't look like I've lost a pound. How in the actual F does this even work? Screw it though. I know if I keep paying attention to what I eat, getting some exercise in, and not drinking all the goddamn time like I used to, eventually I'll friggin' notice. That it takes a long time. And how easy it is to say, I've lost a few pounds, so it won't hurt to skip the gym tonight and maybe have a little snack before bed. And how easily all the hard work can slip away. The mental health aspect of weight loss is huge. I'm seeing a lot of replies to comments saying it really is as simple as eating calories than what you burn in a day. Yeah, I know. We all know. Some of us might not be as aware of just how many calories are in the foods we eat, but in general, we know. But if you've ever had crippling anxiety or depression, then surely you understand how your mental health issues can affect whether or not you do what you're supposed to do in your day-to-day life. That's how mental health affects a lot of overweight people. We know we shouldn't overeat, but for one reason or another, we get the same comfort out of eating that some people do staying in bed when they feel like crap. You could tell someone that's really depressed to just get out of bed and go to work / school / whatever, but it isn't that easy. Even if they can pull it off, it's a struggle the entire time. That's what trying to lose weight often feels like to me. I've lost 20 pounds over the past year, and the only thing that's made a difference as to why it's working now versus all the other attempts I've made my entire life is that I've gotten a better handle on dealing with my demons. Not because I finally decided that everyone's right and I need to eat less. I've done that. I've upped to my exercise regimen, but until I really focused on my mental health, it's just been yo-yoing between the same 10 pounds over and over again. Being more aware of my eating patterns and how they relate to my overall mental health has been the real game changer. My best friend is obese. I really didn't understand food addiction until knowing her. She works with a therapist and is on a strict diet. She can be doing extremely well, and a rough situation can send her into a downward spiral of pizza and candy. Saying eat less junk food to a food addict means nothing. People are also really surprised when she tells them that she was anorexic. The relationship between food and mental health is complicated and disrespected. So many people think a fat person should just do better, but sometimes it's not that easy, and they have other things to work through. Unlike other addictions, you can't just avoid it. An alcoholic can stop going into bars, bring booze home, etc., but you can't just stop eating. Ice cream on a bad day might be no big deal for most people, but for a food addict, it can be like the equivalent of giving an ex-smoker a pack of cigarettes. The process of dealing with the psychological reasons for the addiction and finding new diet tools takes a lot of time, work, and support. Unfortunately, during that time, it's easy to slip back. I try to be supportive of my friend by 1. Telling her she's beautiful, which she is, 2. Suggesting healthy meals when we hang out, 3. Not pressuring her, 4. Not guilting her if she has a problem, 5. Listening to what's going on with therapy/diet, 6. Congratulating her when she's lost weight, and 7. Asking how I can help. If you even think you may be addicted to food, do some research and talk to a doctor. Trying to go it alone can worsen the problem and your self-esteem and lead to depression. It's no easy hurdle, but so worth working on. And that brings us to the end of the video, Narwhals. If you enjoyed this video and would like more like this, make sure to leave a like and click the subscribe button for more. And also subscribe to join our awesome YouTube community, the Narwhals. We're a bunch of really awesome, positive people, so definitely subscribe for that. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good one, Narwhals.